What is up, guys? We got Dirty Mike and Cobb's Creek Beef with 4th and 26 Philly Sports back with an Eagles post game. A little bit of analysis here. Pretty lackluster game there. Ends in an 18-18 tie. Of course, in the preseason, no more overtime. But right off the bat, Foods, I kind of want to talk to you. Besides the injuries, we could touch base on briefly. The Eagles did suffer 5 injuries this game, the most notable being to Zach McPherson, Nolan Smith. That Tyree Cleveland had a serious-looking neck injury, so we're definitely going to pray for him. Nolan Smith kind of came back out, so it looked like it was his shoulder that was injured. Most likely it's probably not going to affect anything, moving forward, but it kind of goes to show you guys, we're always saying we want the starters in there. We want to see, good preseason ball. But this is, the shit that happens, when you're having a lot of backups out there, especially people get rolled up on, people, get somebody taking out their legs on a bad throw. And next thing you know, you got a, starter out. So
a lot of groin. Yeah, especially the groin injuries. I mean, we always joke about pulling your groin, but that shit lingers, man. That's it. You tweak here and there, and the next thing you know, preseason, and then by mid-season, maybe you're out for 2-3 weeks. So, like you said, like those I think you said 4 or 5 injuries. Yeah. It's significant, but at least it's not to our starters.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, you know what I've been noticing? It really seemed I at this point, because we had so much injuries, I don't think we're going to see any starters or Jalen in the third and final preseason game at this point. I think we're just going to kind of try to get to the regular season healthy. What it kind of seems like they've replaced the preseason with is these joint practices that they have. With these, a couple teams that they'll play in preseason, they'll get together for, 2 days and they'll hold scrimmages. And it seems like that is almost become the de facto preseason of getting your reps in, going against, the other team's first team in like a more controlled setting. Where the quarterback's not getting tackled, it's a little bit more controlled of a scrimmage, but it does simulate a little bit closer to game than game time, play than just, regular practices do. So it kind of almost seems like preseason's kind of got replaced by this, joint practice that they've been doing.
Well, I mean, they've been phasing preseason games out for decades. What got back in the 60s and 70s, there were 7 of them? 7 preseason games. So, I mean, but, over time it got whittled down. It does, it stands to reason at some point you might get just 1 preseason game, and then maybe you'll add 1 more regular season game. But, 3 preseason games, even with 3, you can see that it can bring on damage. And hopefully it's nothing that's irreparable. But, Sirianni's known for going fairly light in practices anyway. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll take, into consideration what happened today, 18-18 tie. The defense, I have to say, I think they looked a little under conditioned. I mean, maybe they need a little bit more. They were looking a little gassed. Understandable. It's only the second preseason game. So, completely get it. And I think you're right. I doubt we'll see many starters in that third one. After tonight, yeah.
I'll tell you what I want to see in the third game. I want to see Tanner Mckee starting the game.
Tell me that ain't going to be question number 1 tomorrow at the press conference.
Yeah, we're all talking about that. Marcus Mariota, he doesn't have it. It doesn't seem like the fans are behind him. It seems like he's kind of just here collecting a paycheck, a $5 million paycheck. But, at this point, when you can carry 3 quarterbacks, Tanner Mckee, I believe at this point has played himself into a position to be neck and neck with him going into the third preseason game to possibly take over that backup spot. And, that's really the plan all along. You draft Tanner Mckee and you have Marcus Mariota here under a 1-year contract so that, hopefully maybe Mckee could turn into something to maybe move up the depth chart, next year to a backup quarterback. But I think he's kind of forcing everybody's hand with the way he's been playing in the preseason. Another good game, 10 for 18, 147 yards and a touchdown with a 100.9 passer rating. And he had at least 3 or 4 passes dropped, including a touchdown in the end zone, the Deion Kane drop.
Yeah. But luckily, came back and redeemed himself a little
He did.
later. So
He
but
did.
yeah,
Also,
that was
Trey Sermon, I was saying this when it happened, and then they were kind of echoing it on the television that, he's kind of one of those players that's on the bubble and playing for a roster spot. And to, have a costly fumble and give up the ball when you finally get a couple carries, that pretty much all but sealed his, fate to not make the team. But then he comes back with a long, touchdown run and kind of redeems himself a little bit. I still think it's a long shot for him to make the team. But it was good to see him, bounce back. I like to see Jalen Hurts was in his ear afterwards, kind of talking to him, kind of, explaining some stuff to him. So, that's a player that may not even be on the roster. And, Jalen Hurts is, taking that time to, talk to him about maybe what went wrong. So that just kind of goes to show the leadership, that he does show. But Foods, I got to tell you, if it goes by play alone, I don't think I think Tanner Mckee is absolutely outplayed Marcus Mariota this preseason in these first two games. I know Marcus has a lot of starting experience in the NFL, and he's had limited, had some success a little bit in the NFL. But I'll tell you, it looks like at this point Tanner Mckee has all the intangibles. He's like 6'6". He stands tall in the pocket. He steps up. He's confident. I think he's going to be our backup quarterback this year, and I think he should start next game. What do you think?
Well, definitely has the prerequisites to lead, these men on the field of battle. I think that alone itself should be cause for, to dig deeper, because I think there's way more potential and talent and skill and heart under there. Like you said, he's got his metrics that everyone can see, but the shit that you can't see is what's important. You know what I'm saying, Foods? That friggin' first series where I'm pretty sure, even though they got the safety, that's still a sack. So, I mean, he got his ass sacked again. So, Mark, look, I don't hate Marcus Mariota. I just don't think he's a good fit here.
I don't either. I don't
either. And everyone,
that's why they brought him in, because, I think they kind of figured there's a chance that maybe Jalen Hurts may miss a game or two again this year. It's a long season, and the way he plays, it's always a possibility to deal with injury for a couple games. And I guess they kind of figured that there wouldn't be as big of a drop-off because he may play a similar style that Jalen plays, but he just looks lost in the pocket. I got to be honest with you. He's just lackadaisical, just throwing high to people. He made a couple bad throws again tonight, and from all reports that I've heard, he hasn't had a good training camp either. So,
Yeah, that's what Merrill and Mike were saying. I was listening to the game most of it. I mean, he was late on throws. He was early. Now, I know ball control is an issue a lot between running backs, bad passes, breakups like that. So no problem. Everyone's still learning. But your timing is, as a quarterback, is probably one of the most essential things, beside what you have up here, in between your ears. So I mean, if he has to work on it harder next week and he improves, I guess we'll see. But yes, as per now, I want to see, Mickey play start all next week. I want to see him, at least, I want to say at least for the first half. And then who else we got? Ian Book.
Ian Book, I didn't even see Ian Book in there tonight.
I did exactly. So I mean, we got other people.
Ian Book's gone. He's
no
absolutely gone.
Yeah, and I understand. Next week who we playing? The Colts, right? So it's like, the competition hasn't diminished. Colts, they still have decent running backs. I want to see the defense improve next week. So there's a lot to look forward to, and a lot to look for.
Yeah, some splash plays I saw tonight. Nakobe Dean forcing a fumble at the goal line today that we recovered. Good splash play to look out of our linebackers. More than anything, those first, the Browns dominated the time of possession in the first half. And I think a lot of that is, and I think a lot of that's attributed to the Eagles defense couldn't get off of the field on third down. And, they had a lot of the young players like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith getting extended minutes tonight. And, you could kind of see that they were green, so to speak, that, they were just, putting in their dues right now, getting some game action, and you could tell that they were rookies tonight. They made some good plays and some splash plays now and again, but you're playing against pros from another team, and who have have a little bit more experience, and I feel like they kind of made that show in the first half. And the Eagles offense looked completely just listless in the first half. It wasn't until Mckee came in the game that you feel like an excitement with him. It's hard to explain it to a viewer, but you guys probably had that similar feeling with Mariota out there. It's just boring. What he's able to do, what he does. It's just when Mckee came in there, you just felt like an optimism and an excitement around, what he was doing and, the way he was presenting himself on the field.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like that because you can hear pretty well on the radio the crowd inside the link, so it's great to hear every little action that goes on the field. You'll hear a crescendo of or a tremendous So you got to leave it on the field. Everything, there's nothing can be hidden. You are completely naked out there, so to speak. So that's, I think, what Philadelphia fans want the most is effort, and I think that effort combined with talent is probably what that's what makes winners. And I think that if they continue like this and Mckee can continue leading this team, they'll all become winners and eventually at least get all back, get back to the NFC Championship game and maybe get into that Super Bowl. It's going to be tough though, Foods. We need that. We need discipline. We need humility most of all. And I think that once the starters begin playing, they're going to get, the young guys will receive that in abundance.
Yeah, there was a lot that was, put on there's a lot that's put on these young guys to play, the lion's share of these preseason games. They're not starters for a reason. They can be stopgaps. They can go in for a play or two, but, you really see the inexperience when they're out there for, 1 series, 2 series, 3 series. But, all that it does is it, hardens them for battle for when they're called upon during the regular season, when they're not, going to have to do everything themselves because they have the starters and such a great supporting, cast that we have. Before we wrap this up, there's one more position battle that I kind of want to talk about. Tyree Jackson had a pretty decent game, 2 receptions, 41 yards, including a 35-yard catch today. He's really been plagued with injuries the last couple, seasons, and there's always been a promise about him, switching positions, the tight end. You really need those reps to kind of learn a new position, and the last couple years he's really gone down injured after some hype around him. I really would like to see him get that 3rd tight end spot. Nothing against Jack Stoll, but I mean, just he doesn't excite me at all. Tyree, at least I feel like, has a little higher of a ceiling. Stoll may go out there and just, do his job, but I kind of feel like Tyree has a little bit higher of a ceiling, and I'd really like to see him get a shot, honestly.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell because, I mean, being the 3rd tight end, that's a toughie because you're going to be asked to do a lot of things, just like one of those running backs is going to be asked to do a lot of things. So I guess it's going to come down to if he could just stay on the field himself, play through, keep that mentality, play through the pain, try to pay through the hurt. And if he can do that, Foods, I can totally see him securing that spot and being there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an outside shot, but I mean, the depth that we have at wide receiver is just, unbelievable. The fact that we even got Zacchaeus, a number 2 receiver from the Falcons, and he's, probably our number 4 receiver, just really shows, the depth that we have.
Thank God he came back, dude. I was so worried about that when he got hurt.
He got hurt too, but remember, guys, it was only 3-4 years ago when Greg Ward was our number 1 receiver. So just, keep that in mind, guys, of how far we've come in the last, 3-4 seasons. So
Shit, we got a Heisman Trophy winner as one of our receivers now, for God's sake.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
once they get unleashed in the regular season, it's going to be unbelievable. But we just wanted to get together for a quick post game chat about some observations that we made about the game here at 4th and 26 Philly Sports. Beef, thanks for joining me again. We'll be back doing another video, probably released in the next day, about the Phillies as well. So make sure you check that out as well. And we got one more preseason game to get through to get our roster down to 53 of the best men that we can and get out of it healthy. And let's hit that regular season game hard against the Patriots and get off to a 1-0 start, like I know we're going to.
Most important thing is the health. Most important thing. So yes, you're right. 4th and 26. So, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Stay with us all season, fam.
I want to hear if you guys also think that Tanner Mckee should be our backup quarterback at this point. That's probably going to be about the title of this video. So we definitely, I think, are on the same page, me and you, Beef, of what we've seen so far. The eye test, show, I kind of feel like he's got it. I'd like to see him start next week. And let's see how he plays out there with all the twos for, an extended period of time in the first half, maybe against the number one defense of, they'll probably play a lot of their number ones in Indy. So I'd like to see how he plays against, a little bit step up in competition. And we'll have this discussion again, I'm sure, after next week. And I'm sure we'll be hearing about it on Sports Talk Radio all this week.
Run the bar. Well, stay tuned, guys. We'll be back.
All right, guys. Peace.